guys. Today we're here with Marie Watkins from Strong Moms Barbell Club, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, but today we're going to do a little interview on her story and her progress so far for Strong Moms. So, Marie, can you tell us really quick, give us your introduction?
Sure. So, Marie Watkins, as you said, I actually have been in the military for about 20 years. So, I would say I've always kind of lived an active lifestyle. I have 4 kids, again, very active lifestyle, a husband, and I I haven't been what I would say a Olympic lifter for very long. So, I guess that's probably the most recent for me, more of a CrossFitter. But I started the Strong Moms with you and the ladies not too long ago, and so I've really enjoyed it so far.
Awesome. So, just to give everyone a little background on you, so when we started working together, Marie had a C-section essentially, but not with a baby, and I'll let her tell you about that. So her recovery started kind of from a surgical scratch. So, Marie, I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about that so people can get a background of where you were starting.
Sure. So my story, it's one that I think some people can kind of relate to. At least I hope they can relate to it. About, I'd say, May last year, um, I started having a lot of pain, and I didn't know what it was from. Couldn't figure it out. Started, going through the gamut. Went to the doctor. They couldn't figure it out at first. Run through the, battery tests, and finally figured out that I had multiple fibroid tumors. Again, 38 at the time. So I'm not young, but I'm definitely not old. And with 4 kids, my husband and I kind of had to sit down and make the decision on what treatment to go with, especially because we had just gotten married not even a year ago prior, because we were kind of a mixed family, kind of the Brady Bunch. He had 2 kids, I had 2 kids. So it was a big decision. And even, at 38, not expecting to have another child, not, wanting to have another child necessarily, but having to make the decision whether or not to have hysterectomy and have that taken from you is a little intimidating, but that was the choice that we made. So they were going to do the laparoscopic hysterectomy. They went in and realized that I had far too many fibroid tumors and that the size was far too large. So they had to do a full abdominal, which, like you said, was the equivalent of basically having a C-section done. Um, my recovery was not seamless. I had a lot of complications along the way due to the fact that, nerves being sewn into my incision, just not going the way that, one would plan, especially someone as active as myself, with 4 kids and everything else, and trying to get back into work and things like that. So um, I definitely, I mean, I turned to you, of course. So, and I guess I'll just kind of leave that there.
Yeah, it's a powerful story. That decision that you guys had to make was huge, and you did awesome with your recovery. But one thing that we don't talk a lot about, or most people don't, but is like the mental state from something like that. So not only have you had a surgery, but now you're like, okay, well, I want to get back to doing what I was doing, but I had a surgery, and now I've also have this like mental state of like, I don't know, I guess I'll let you describe it. So if you had to like describe your mental state post surgery, how would you describe that?
I think the one word to describe it was just, I just didn't, well, I guess it's not one word, it's a lot of words, just because I just didn't feel like myself.
on file too. Okay, so anyway, uh, Maria's saying mental state was just not where it was before. And what are some things just for other moms who are maybe just experiencing hysterectomies or surgeries? What are some things that you did to cope right away?
It's setting little goals, setting small, realistic expectations for not only myself, but also, the communication with your family, because that's just as important as your physical well-being, but also that, mental well-being. I know from my husband's standpoint, he had no idea what to do. They feel very helpless because they want to do anything and everything, and they don't know what you're going through unless you actually communicate it to them. So just making sure that you communicate your needs, and then also just setting those small, realistic goals and just kind of chipping away at them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, was there any turning point where you thought, okay, things are starting to kind of turn a corner?
Today, I mean, every day, every day is a different day, because I still look in the mirror, and your body's not the same, and so it still mentally kind of stays with you a little bit. And
Yeah,
so I'd say every day it's a new turning point.
yeah. Have you started feeling normal again yet?
um I think, yes, I would say yes. I mean, it's taken me a little bit. I definitely, with some doctor recommended, nutrition plans and things like that. I did struggle a little bit with some weight gain and things like that, which I think most do. But just finding that key, and locking in on what I needed to do for that was kind of key to me anyway, trying to get back to where I felt that, was my normal.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it was really awesome because you took it slow. We basically just did C-section recovery with you, and
I did.
it's not fun, it's not glamorous, but you did all the work and kind of came out on the other side like way stronger. I don't know if you want to talk about your PRs, but they're pretty awesome.
Well, I can definitely say that, I would have never expected to PR, my lifts post a surgery like that. And I've done it. So, I mean, there is a benefit to, starting from the ground up and working the system, there's a reason that the strength programming is built the way it is, and you just have to work the program.
Yeah.
So.
Is there anything that you would have done differently looking back?
I think maybe, especially for myself, I think I would have maybe been a little less hard on myself. I mean, that's probably just more of a personal goal, because I mean, I was stuck in bed for months, and you just kind of sit there and, mentally beat yourself up over, what you should be doing and things like that. But I honestly, I felt like if you talk to the right people, and you have the right support system, and you follow the right programs, that it's so much easier to get through something like that. And so I was very blessed. I was blessed that I had people in my corner that, kind of fought for my recovery as much as I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's recovery, or the support system is huge for recovery. Um, that's awesome. But it's nice that you found the people, because it's really hard to find the people. Most moms that are probably watching this are maybe struggling to find the right people to talk to. So if that's the case, you can always ask us questions, because hopefully we can help point you in the right direction. But yeah, that's totally awesome. So somebody who has had a hysterectomy, what would you say is your like number one piece of advice to any other moms that have to go through this?
I would say, it's a mental, I think it mentally kind of is a game more than anything. And game's probably not even the right word, but physically it's taxing, but more mentally, I mean, you're talking to people, you are kind of coping the way that you should be, and that you are communicating with either your husband or partner or significant other or whoever the case may be, because that's important. And some people kind of close themselves off, and it's important just to make that communication available.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I mean, and that's not even, granted, that's not exercise related, but it's just important for that mental well-being. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Just
The
to,
mental
yeah,
game is
yeah,
there, like the physical can follow, but it's really important
absolutely,
the other way around.
absolutely,
And I think that's what, a lot of moms do struggle with is the mental game. And we don't, talk about that enough, but it's actually, I think, more important than the physical. Because you can't do anything if your brain is not allowing you to, and just
right.
recovery, training, anything, eating. So that's huge. So
And I would also say make sure that you're being very vocal with your doctor about your wants and needs. And if you want to do like with what we did with the, foundations and rebuilding, type of programs, you don't have to go to rehab. You don't have to go to physical therapy. But you do, if you have a good program in place, they will, they'll go along with you and they will support that. You just have to, make sure that you communicate that to them. So I think as long as you have a good communication and, the door's open with the doctors, I think that's important as well.
yeah, that's awesome. Great. So I think that's all I have for you right now. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about?
Um,
Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing your story. It's
uh,
awesome.
it's, it's been months coming. So it's hard. It was hard for a long time to talk about. So I just hope that it helps somebody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. So awesome. Well, thank you. I'm going to hit the end record button here, and Marie, stay on.